SG have built strong reputation in the sim racing community with his incredible sequential shifter, and not only as it's been used in some real drift cars too, and is well known as minimalistic but very strong design built mainly from CNC machined aluminum body, steel parts in the mechanism, and reading all the comments in all different reviews, it's pleasure to see such a great feedback from drivers who use it for years already, which is what really matters. I mean, from video like this you can get basic understanding from different products and some subjective opinion from user like me who is testing different gear all the time, but you have to remember that I'm just single case and you can find really important information in the comment section from the community, which is there to help you in your end decision. I know some of you trust my taste and opinion, but again, I'm single case and the section with the comments is what completes the information. That being said, the SG is one of the most used shifters in this channel and one of the most suggested from me personally over the years, as it really feels great. It is built like a tank from premium materials. It is very well priced for what it is against the competition and have stands again the time, as it is used hardly for over 2 years and still feels as good as day one. Also, from my quick research, looks like that's the case with everyone who has this for a long time. However, that's not gonna be a long-term review, as SG have made few improvements and sent the entire combo with the plate and the handbrake, which cost 450 euro including shipping, and that's quite competitive. Definitely looks like very strong contender on the current high-end market. Now, before I compare it to some other great choices I have around, let me point a few differences between the first version and the new one. The first thing that strikes me straight away is the stiffness difference. The way that shifter gives mechanical engagement changing gear is through little ball bearing compressed with spring which pops in and out from a hole. Very simple but effective way to get positive feedback of engaging mechanical gear. As you can see, there is zero over engineering without the need of bulky box to fit complex mechanism, and the biggest advantage is noise reduction, as those ball bearing pops in and out doesn't echo in the box. Of course, it's not silent experience, but it's by far the quietest from all the sequential shifters I have around. One interesting observation I had is, even if the new shifter is almost twice stronger in pull and push action, sounds few decibel quieter as well. Not big difference, but still being way stronger was surprisingly quieter. However, the mechanical engagement, that click of the ball going in and out of that space, feels the same, which is not bad thing, as is something I like a lot in both models. And the big difference is the torque requirement for passing the threshold, and that's achieved simply by changing the pivot point. As the distance is way bigger in the new model, the harder we have to push and pull against that compressed ball bearing. Also, those same springs on the both sides are the physical limit of the lever movement, which further reduces the noise, as there is no metal to metal snappy contact. Basically, looking at that mechanism, I understand why nothing breaks and changes in terms of feeling for years. Not many things can really go wrong here. Next change is the switches. The first model has micro switches, which I have no idea for how many cycles are rated, but still work after 2 years and never fail me in any circumstances. However, the new one uses contactless sensors, which hopefully will last forever. And the last improvement is on the extra lever, which in the old one is more like DIY with the spring sticking out, and in the new one just looks clean and more professional product. So, as we can see, SG have made one of the best shifters on the market even better, and one thing to take notice, I found I can add or take some of the preload from tweaking the bolt, which makes very slight difference in terms of feeling, but the producer doesn't recommend those tweaks. This is not some mass production line, and every shifter is assembled from Stefan itself and tested from his hands. Also, he says everything is set as he designed it to be for the best user experience and longevity, but as I am always curious, I had to test it. Just, if you want to feel the difference, make sure to lose first this part and then play with the preload and then tight again. Now, let's try to compare to other nice shifters I have around. Those are all sent here under the same conditions, so let's take objective look. VNM and Simagic have a bit different approach with a bit more bulky design and complex mechanism to achieve that engaging feeling, which they both do very well and aesthetically looks great to me. On both can be added some preload to some extent, but the maximum torque is a bit weaker than the new SG and both are louder. The shifting cycle feels slightly different, even if at the end of the day 3 different mechanisms ends up pushing spring-loaded metal part through threshold point, which falls down at some point and give feeling of that engagement. If I push slowly all 3, the SG feels a bit more tight with somehow short snap at the end, and the VNM and Simagic have a bit more free movement till fall in the next slot. However, in normal use, when I start smashing the lever, that difference disappears, just the SG require a bit more force. So, SG is a bit cheaper with slimmer design and a bit quieter, which in my opinion gives few winning points. Next are 2 shifters which have adjustments and are a bit more flexible in terms of feeling. The Heusinkveld have completely different approach with the max shift and can be set in many different ways, like overall strength, harder push, lighter pull, or the other way around. It have extra 3 buttons, but it's missing that extra lever and it's missing also that mechanical engagement. It's way more expensive and not built from solid aluminum parts as the SG. For me, SG clearly wins here in terms of feeling, price and materials used. Lastly, the stronger competitor to the SG is from another way, which can be widely adjusted in terms of stiffness with hands, no tools needed. It can be set in vertical or horizontal position. It's almost as quiet as the SG, but it's just a bit more expensive and way heavier than the SG, as it's built from steel and not aluminum. In terms of actual feeling, the SG feels just a bit more clicky, but again, once I start changing quickly gears, almost all those shifters are evenly engaging to me, which is very subjective statement anyway. All that being said, very strong competition here, with the SG having the lower price of €290 and shipping included. That can be between €50 and €90 difference, and also there is color options for those who really care about those aesthetics. Now, if you want the combo kit, the Handbrake is not as spectacular as the shifter, but for my personal like do the work quite well. Build quality is the same level, made of aluminum, almost the same design aesthetically speaking. It is spring based with progressive compression and use magnetic sensor. There is not much you can do to adjust the throw or stiffness, but for my like is around the sweet spot, which of course is totally subjective statement, but it really works as it should for me and my driving style. The combo comes with plate which allow angle adjustment for more comfortable use, and as the entire combo with the shifter, handbrake and plate which will use single USB on the PC cost €450 shipping included. That makes it like €120 for that H brake, and for that quality is great option. However, as separate purchase, the handbrake come with different price, which is not that attractive to me personally. So I can compare it to the another way combo in terms of adjustments, but it's also way cheaper, and for casual rally and drifting experiences will absolutely cover the job without breaking the bank. So here is my personal opinion. After years of experience with the first version, which have gone through the hell with me and still being as good as day one, and considering there are a few improvements. The V2 shifter will remain as one of the best proposals on the market in terms of price versus quality, performance and feeling. As a handbrake is not that spectacular, but as a combo with the blade shifter and handbrake for $450 including shipping can be the perfect choice for those who want to experience the ultimate shifting and pull some slides here and there. As I've said before, for your final decision, just read the comment section in all different reviews, as there you will find the real answer. Have fun and happy racing, everyone.